Have you ever looked around and realized everyone seems to already have their group? Like somehow you're late to the friendship party. We're going to get into it on this episode. Let's get into the show. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the SophieJo Show. I am your host, editor, set designer, producer, wardrobe stylist, hairstylist, makeup artist, SophieJo. And this is the SophieJo, the SophieJo, the SophieJo Show. Whoa, whoa. We are going to get right into this episode, guys. We are talking about friends. How many of us have them? Friends. Hey, ones we can depend on. Let's be friends. Yeah, we're going to get right into it. But before we get right into it, let's see what's going on with a little bit of tea that's going on in the social media streets. First off, of course, Real Housewives of Atlanta season, 17 reunion trailer recently came out. And I first want to say this. When Drew Sidora first came on Housewives, I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. But I also wasn't like, ew, what is she doing here? I was just going with the flow. But now that Drew is in, I think, her 5th or 6th season, I think she's finding her footing. I'm not mad at Drew. I'm actually becoming a fan of Drew Sidora on Atlanta Housewives. For one, the lady, I think Drew's mug isn't being talked about enough. Even without makeup, she looks even better without makeup and younger. So that's one. And I like that Drew is not afraid to... She's not scared to speak up or speak her mind. I think some people on the cast are a little bit hesitant to come off as a mean girl or to rub people the wrong way. Drew just says what she wants to say, how she wants. A lot of people would be like, oh, she's risking it all. I think 2 seasons ago when she came at Portia, coming at a heavy hitter or the anchor of the show, as people has been calling Portia. Drew didn't care. So I do like that about her. And also, not a lot of people get this part, but I get it because I'm an Aquarius and I am very sarcastic myself. Drew Sidora is very sarcastic and she's quick-witted, but you have to catch it. Like, she's not just very loud and bold with it like a Nene Leakes would be. She's kind of like a little, not she's saying like the digs and the shade under her breath, but it's just very low-key. And she's very sarcastic and I like it. I am becoming a Drew Sidora fan on Atlanta Housewives. Now, we see that Pinky is pregnant. I knew Pinky was the one who was pregnant. I knew it. I just knew it. And she is. So, congrats to her. At first, everybody was really excited about Angela Oakley being on Housewives. And she does fit, but she fits more so with the older cast of Housewives. For some reason, only this season, Angela has not been doing the best, in my opinion. And I'm excited to see the reunion come out. I'm looking forward to it. I wish that Portia and Shamia could rekindle their relationship, but I think that is over and dead with now that they've been talking about each other's mamas and babies and all that, husbands, brothers, uncles. So I think that's dead. Like I said in my other video, if y'all haven't tapped in, go ahead and check that episode out. I'm not a huge Kelly fan, but Kelly is doing her thing. Once again, this is someone else who's not afraid to say what they want, how they want, when they want to. She's showing us all the peaks into her life, the negative and the positive parts of her life. What Housewives is for. It might not be everybody's taste, but she's giving the fashion look. She's giving it to us. So now over on Twitter X, or X Twitter, a lot of people have been saying that there's been rumors and speculations that the Queen Bee, Nene Leakes, might be returning to RHOA Season 18. If that is true, I am locked and loaded. I'm glued to the TV screen, okay? I will say, even though there's been rumors of the Queen, Nene Leakes, returning to RHOA Season 18, I still don't think she's going to be a very good mesh for this particular group, the cast that we have right now on Atlanta. I think Nene even did an interview like a while ago or whatever, and she was saying she doesn't know these new girls, and there's really no relationship there. I mean, Portia is there, Phaedra is there, Cynthia is there part-time, so she can, have some interaction with them and also get to know the new ladies. But if she's coming back, low-key, I want Sheree to come back. I don't know how long Kenya's thing is, but she needs to come back. Let's kick some of the new people out. Sorry, that's just in a perfect world. If not, then we'll take what we can get, okay? that's enough of RHOA for me. I'm actually ready for it to be over. I have not been that into Atlanta Housewives, honestly, since they came, like, since when they revived it and they came back with season, what was that, 15, 16? I watch it because I'm just a fan of the show, period, but I'm not into it how I used to be. So I'm ready for Potomac to come back. I'm ready for Married to Medicine to come back. And I'm ready for Salt Lake City to come back. Also, under our What's the Tea category of this show, make sure y'all are subscribed and like the video. This is nothing important to talk about, but I just had to share it with somebody. Am I the only person who is thoroughly enjoying the song Choosing Texas by Ella Langley? I don't know what is in that song, but I went to sleep with it on my mind. I woke up with it on my brain, humming it around the house, singing it. I am just, first off, okay, I'm not trying to sound small-minded because I know black people we're not a monolith and we don't come in one form, okay? Because I listen to an array of music. I listen to all music genres except country. I do not like country music. But this one country song, Choosing Texas, got me in the tightest chokehold. She's from Texas, I can tell by the way he's who's stepping around the ring. I can't get enough of that song. My sister comes around, I'm playing the song. Like, that's my song right now. White lady, you did your biggest one with that one. You deserve all the CMA awards, okay? And the Grammys. Moving along. Guys, I made it a point when I was planning out this episode for this to be a lighter episode, not so heavy, because it's not hard for me to really get into my woke bag and talk about the stuff that really matters and that we should be focused on in this country. But I also, like, to know me in real life is to know that I'm also a very jovial person. And I just wanted some of my episodes to reflect that as well. Like, I am serious sometimes when it comes to black stuff and our people, but I also wanted to showcase my bodacious personality that I get compliments on all the time. But before we get back into that, guys, we had to tap just a little bit into the conversation that's going on about, I guess, like not body positivity, but like just judging people's bodies. So there's been a lot of conversation because we've seen clips and videos and pictures of the singer Ariana Grande on tour, her new music video, her new album's coming out. I am a Ariana Grande fan. Love her music. She can actually sing, okay? Even when I used to watch her on Victorious, I'm a fan of Ariana Grande. I missed her tour. I didn't even know she came to Atlanta in July. Anyways, so there's been a lot of talk and discussion about her body, but I'm not going to delve into her actual body, but I do want to talk about the comparison and also the contradiction that goes on when we talk about people who appear to be extremely frail and thin, okay? Stomach touching back, versus people who are morbidly obese. I just think it's such an interesting conversation that is allowed to be had in the world or in society. When someone is very large, they are called my 600-pound fat slob name out there. But when someone is extremely thin, there's a little bit of conversation, but it's not nowhere near as intense or mean, basically, as it is somebody who is fat. Okay? And that's because society does not look at anybody overweight as fitting into the normal beauty standard. They are looked at as disgusting, lazy, your fat slob, not knowing somebody might have a health issue, or maybe somebody just want to be big because they like food. But being extremely skinny can also be unhealthy, but it's not criticized as much because you can never be too skinny in this world. So all the conversations that's going on TikTok and Twitter, now I'm not going to place my opinion about Ariana Grande's body because we don't know what's going on with her. A lot of people had the same conversation about Chadwick Boseman, and then unfortunately he ended up having cancer and passed away. So you don't know what these celebrities are dealing with or going through, but are they supposed to become a recluse and hide from the world because they may or may not be going through something? Or should they continue to do what they love that helps feed their soul, i.e. singing and performing Ariana Grande, because that's what they want to do? I think people are kind of upset because Ariana Grande has not come out and said, oh, XYZ is going on with me. She's kind of living life like everything is normal, and everything might be normal. She might just be extremely, I don't know. Because now people saying that's gaslighting, so I don't know. All I wanted to say was Samara, Ariana Grande, Lizzo, 3 of the same people. They all look different, but they all were saying the same messaging. That's it. I'm moving on from the conversation. Now, let's really get into it while we are here today. Guys. You know, friendship is something that is not talked about enough, in my opinion. We hear all the conversations, all the podcasts, all the dating shows about romantic relationships. But when it comes down to just platonic friends, that is a relationship within itself. And that also impacts our lives just as much as a romantic relationship. So I'm choosing today to talk about friendships. So I first want to start off by saying I do have friends, but I don't have friends. And what even brought about this idea of this conversation, I was just kind of thinking, me and my mom was watching Married at First Sight. We love watching that show together. And I'm just thinking to myself, one day if I shockingly were to get married, who would be in my wedding? And there's a difference between who will be at my wedding and who will be in the wedding, right? So when it comes to at my wedding, that ain't hard, okay? I have a lot of acquaintances, but when I'm talking about true friendship, who would be in the wedding? Very few. And that's what brought about this topic for today. As a child, I did kind of sort of move around a lot. And I think that's one of the reasons why I don't have a lot of just like strong friendships, because let's just say, for example, if I'm at this elementary school, I've made a really great couple of friends. I might be there 2 years, but then I'd have moved again. So now that friendship has withered away. And I'm always constantly having to be the new kid on the block, the new girl, the new kid in the classroom, and making friends. Now, I will say, moving around elementary, middle school, high school, it was never hard for me to make friends versus someone like my sister. She's a little bit more isolated and also, introverted, versus I'm kind of more extroverted. And it was never hard for me to make friends, never hard for me to keep a friend until it was something out of my control. Me moving as a child, I can't control that. So that's one why I don't have like those lifelong friends. Oh, I've been knowing her since I was in 3rd grade. That was never the case for me, child. But I will say, me always kind of moving and making new friends and leaving behind friends, it gave me the skill of being able to be adaptable. And I feel like by me constantly moving, when you're not around somebody all the time, you're missing those important milestones. So like, I'm graduating from high school, or I'm graduating from college. I got my first car. Let's go riding together. Oh my God, I have my permit. Like when you're moving, you're missing out and unable to create those core memories together. And you always are constantly having to create new memories with somebody else. Now, I ain't trying to sound like first off, my parents were not in the military. But when I was a kid, people thought I was a military brat because we did move around so much. But it wasn't anything bad, to be honest. We just moved a lot. Now that I'm an adult, I just find that it's really difficult to make adult friends. And I think it's because versus like when you are, an adolescent, a child, whatever, you are forced in these social environments, like a school building. You see these people every day, you're in class with them every day, you can't help but to make a friend. But as an adult, even on the job site, now I will say, all the jobs that I've had, because I am a job hopper, it ain't never been hard for me to make friends on a job. Everybody think I'm Chelsea Handler. They just be laughing and cracking up at me. They swear I'm the funniest thing out since Chris Rock or something. So that's not the thing. But also, work friends is very different from true friends, because even just based on an experience a couple years ago, I made a really great friendship with one of my work friends. But, well, it was a work relationship. But once I left that job, we don't talk anymore. And I sometimes wonder to myself, I wonder if it's because while we're at work, like we're cackling, we cracking jokes, or we're talking about work related stuff. But when we're outside of work, say if we went to lunch or grabbed a coffee together, what do we talk about besides work stuff, So, I feel like sometimes trying to make friends as an adult, it's kind of awkward trying to make plans. It's like a weirdness. It's like, hey, are you available this day, X, Y, and Z, this time? Let's do this, let's do that. And then a lot of people nowadays, especially the age bracket that I'm in, they have children, they have spouses, they have jobs, of course. We're not just single carefree people how we were in high school or middle school or whatever. So it's very difficult, and it's just complicated trying to make new friends, to be completely honest. But I do want new friends, and I really want meaningful friendships. And that's another thing. I feel like I do have friends, but like somebody who, you just on the phone, y'all ain't even talking about nothing, but y'all are on the phone together, keeping each other company. And someone also, or people, I find that it's kind of difficult to find people who I have things in common with. I love reality TV. I like beauty stuff, like hair, makeup, things like that. And a lot of the friends that I have, and it's no shade, no offense to those friends, but I feel like we're very surface level. And there was one point in my life I did have some pretty good core friends, but literally everybody moved away. All my friends moved out of the city where I live, and I don't blame them because I'm trying to get out of here too. But everybody left at the same time. And there's also sometimes, this is me personally, where there's a feeling like people already have their people. Like, and sometimes I feel like, I guess like an outsider trying to get in the loop. Like, if I have a friend, yes, we're friends, but not on a deep, deep level, just kind of like surface level friends. That person already has their core friend group, and I feel like I'm almost being a burden trying to impede on y'all's plans or y'all's inside jokes that you already have, So, I don't know, y'all. One time, this was a couple years ago, I learned about the app called Bumble for Friends, and I tried it out for a couple weeks. It's just like, it's like a dating app, but it's not dating. It's only for friends. You find people who have common interests as you, might be in the same city as you. Me and this one girl were getting along well. We were supposed to grab coffee. Never happened. So, yeah, it's just hard to make new friends. And my mom says, Sophie, you're not going to make any friends. Ain't nobody going to show up to your house. She says the same thing to me about dating. Nobody's going to come ring the doorbell, knock on your door. I have to get out more. But then it's like, so am I supposed to go to these bars and clubs and restaurants by myself? That's kind of, I don't know. Oh, I don't know, y'all. If y'all have tips or tricks, anything that, for getting out the house and making new friends as an adult, drop them in the comments. Your girl could use the help. And I guess in a sense, I'm kind of saying I'm experience a bit of loneliness. And when people say loneliness, I think often they think of, romantically. But no, I mean loneliness friend-wise, okay? Like I said, I have acquaintances, but there's like a craving for a deeper friendship. And all the friends that I've had in the past, not saying I'm not friends with these people anymore, but some of them I'm not that anything happened. We just kind of faded out. And I do understand that sometimes friendships serve a season. Everything isn't going to be lifelong or whatever, but I do want to make new friends. I just don't know how. Woe is me. Now, I am, as I said, trying to build new friendships, find new friends, and all that good stuff. So a couple of tips that I have received and things that I'm trying out. I say yes to all invitations, basically. Recently, I was invited to a birthday dinner. I'm going to go. Do me and this girl talk all the time? No, but we do know each other okay, and we've been knowing each other or around each other for a couple of years. So I'm going to go because that could blossom into a friendship or people there I could connect with or whatever. So saying yes to all invitations, and reaching out first. Now that's something that I do. Not always, but a lot of times I am the one reaching out. I'm the one making plans. I'm the one saying, hey, let's get together and do this. Or a lot of times it's me initiating things. And then because also I do overthink. So recently I feel like I've been doing a lot of the reaching out. So I'm like, I ain't finna do no more reaching out, because now to me it's almost getting thirsty. Because why aren't you reaching out to me trying to make plans with me? It doesn't have to be anything elaborate. We can watch TV together. We can order a pizza and sit by the pool together. I don't want to be always the one initiating things, because that makes me feel like I'm trying to be your friend, but you ain't really trying to be mine. And I'm cool on that. So that wraps up my whole friendship conversation that I wanted to have on this episode of the SophieJo Show. Once again, make sure y'all are subscribed and hit the like button. Now, on our last segment of the show, we are going to be doing something from now on called the Culture Check. Okay, we checking in with the culture. Y'all know it wouldn't be me if I didn't have an episode not talking about something that was serious. So this isn't going to be anything intense or deep. I just wanted to get this out. First, I want to say my thoughts, my prayers, and my heart is with and will forever be with until justice is served, Carmelo Anthony and his family. I think about Carmelo Anthony on a daily basis, because he just looks so innocent, and he's so young to be in prison for something that honestly all he was doing was defending himself. But because he's black, it's seen as something totally different. When we know if Carmelo was palm colored, it would have been self-defense, stand your ground, all that bull crap they like to feed us. So yeah, I had to say that. Also, one more thing. Nolan Wells. Guys, I can't even really fully divulge into this conversation about Nolan Wells and the case, because it literally makes my blood boil. It infuriates me, the fact that we have all this basically evidence and not one arrest has been made. No one's been brought in for questioning. It drives me insane in the state of Mississippi. That's where my mama and them from. And the SIP is so just behind. I can't even get my words together. That's how frustrated I am with this whole situation. They have first off, Nolan's body coming back with trauma to the back of the head and his throat missing. That's 2 pieces of evidence. The boat, a witness said that the boat was seen 3 a.m. at the one of the parents of the children's home. It was being cleaned. 3 pieces of evidence. The first autopsy sending Nolan's body with no throat. 4th piece of evidence, that's tampering with evidence. The judge trying to cover up for the kid by cleaning the boat and having it parked at her house. 5th piece of evidence. You can hear the people in the background on the phone call. 6th piece of evidence. Like, y'all, sometimes just living here in this country, being black, is so exhausting, and we are constantly told and told that we have to be strong, a brighter day coming, a new day coming, we got to be triumphant, we got to keep pushing. All that is fine and dandy, and I'm here for it. But sometimes it becomes too much for some people. And that's why sometimes I have to just step away, and I can't even fully invest into cases like this, because it literally, I be up at night. So if some people are wondering why I haven't really touched on the Nolan Wells situation, it's because it's too heavy for me, and it will mess up just my well-being, honestly, because I just can't believe all these pieces of evidence are right here in front of our eyes in plain sight, and these white kids get to run around, sit in front of the TV with popcorn and a Bud Light, waiting for Sunday football to start. This is America. That wraps up episode 21 of the SophieJo. The SophieJo. Hey, the SophieJo Show. Yeah, make sure y'all are subscribed, like I said, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let me know if I'm the only person, the only adult struggling in the friend department. Huh? Comment down below, and maybe we can become friends. I don't know. I'll see y'all in my next episode. And I just wanna be free. Free.